Hello, welcome to Stretford Paddock. We're here for the review of Manchester United 1, City 0. We won. We won, didn't we? And that's all that there is. Don't worry about anything else. Did we go through? Can't remember, but we did win. Oh, and that's really all that counts. We're trying to take, as you can see from the title, we're going to try to take the positives tonight. That was all right, wasn't it? In a way, in a shit way.
When you woke up this morning, did you think?
Let me just start again.
You woke up this morning.
I'm not dead. Sorry,
right, so you weren't dead.
Yeah.
And then you get Bruno Fernandes. It's done, signed, sealed. He's on the plane. He's coming.
Get him on the plane.
And then
Gareth Southgate.
There he is. That lad there.
Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes.
I wonder what he looked like. Nice to put a name to a face to the name.
He's done. And then
he's done. He's finished.
We didn't get battered playing. Yeah. I mean, that 11 we had today. Well, we did get battered.
No, but fuck off, because we battered Burnley, we battered Newcastle, we battered.
Fuck off.
I don't mean you. I mean the stats. I'm telling you, fuck off.
Tell the stats to fuck off.
The argument that will be placed against us. We've had loads of chances against so many teams this season
and not taking them.
Yeah, and I know we didn't go through. So yes, I know, but we're trying to be positive, like we said. We only had 2 less shots on target than them. Admittedly, they had about 6 shots off target that were like from 3 yards out, and they didn't even have a shot when Maguire gave the ball away inside the 18-yard box. But when we lose and we have stats like City have got, we had 27 shots against Burnley and 8 on target. And then we had, I think it was 24 shots and 9 on target against Tranmere and won 6-0. So when we win and they're the stats,
people criticise us when we do them games and say we're not good enough, we're not taking our chances, we've not done this. But when City today, I mean, it's different because we've not gone through and everything.
I understand,
it's still,
Yeah, but when you look,
they had to take the chances. We actually, we got a result out today, which I don't think anyone was expecting.
No. And also, do you think Pep likes losing at home?
No. He was not in the slightest.
He was fuming.
He was not happy with some of the performances today.
And they didn't. You could say maybe they weren't trying that, but they were trying hard because they were 1 goal away from a penalty shootout, and they didn't. That wasn't a position they were comfortable with. Let's say we were 4-0 down after the first leg and we won 1-0. You'd kind of go, well, we were 1 goal away from a penalty shootout there. That wasn't City being all happy and comfortable. No. We've cruised it, lads. They didn't want to win. They didn't want to lose 1-0.
No, I think there was. My internet gone. I think
It says chat disconnected.
I've been disconnected, so I can't see anything. Oh, we're still online.
Are we still online? We are.
We're still going.
The chat's up on here.
Yeah. What was I saying now?
We were talking about they weren't happy with the 1-0. That wasn't their game plan, was it? To lose?
No, not in the slightest. And I think the one thing we were missing was that we didn't have anything to change it with, really.
Yeah.
We didn't have another striker to bring on. We didn't have another goal scorer to bring in. We brought on all the subs. We brought on Juan Mata, Pereira for Lingard, who was,
both
not the best.
No.
And then
Lingard was particularly poor today.
Lingard was very poor.
Just bouncing off him. Martial was anonymous. Yeah. It wasn't a good performance. I'm not trying to
say... No, not in the slightest. It wasn't like the home game we played when we played the other week and beaten 2-1.
No.
That was a good performance. Everyone was doing their jobs and we were clinical and all that. Yeah. This was full smash and grab. This
was City against Swansea, wasn't it? But you know what? Like I said, someone said here, moral victories are not victories. United would have never settled for that. But this isn't Ferguson's United, is it?
No, it's not. And that's the thing.
As we all hate to admit it, you can't help but say that beating City away and going out, whilst it's not the ideal outcome for today, it's certainly not in the top 10 worst outcomes.
Well, here's the other bit. I think of it like this. After the first half at Old Trafford 2 weeks ago, would you have taken us being a goal away from getting a penalty shootout like that? Think about that. Like
we're
3-0 down. We could have been 6 or 7.
With 80 minutes gone in the second leg, you're 1 goal away from a penalty shootout.
You've got a chance.
You'd be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look, they are. We looked at. You said that their front 7 today would be our best player. Any of them would be our best player in that team.
Yeah.
There's a talk about Martial missing. He didn't have his best of games, but we didn't have the ball. There's a lot of there's Greenwood got took off at half time, and he didn't. There's questions of whether he should have stayed on, and Dan James whether he could have gone. But it's like
and we're talking about Brandon Williams as well. Like he just didn't have chance to get the ball.
No one had the ball.
No. I thought Matic looked excellent. Until regardless
for
of his
as much
goal.
as he got those bookings in the end, he was making the smart fouls. He was making the fouls that City have become very good at. Is what Fernandinho's in their team to do. Make them fouls when they were in transition quickly. He was doing well.
I think he covered for Fred, who started really slowly. I think first 20 minutes, Fred gave the ball away a lot. and I think he grew into the game a little bit. But Matic did cover for him early on, and he does. I don't want to say he's the old Matic again, but he does seem to have come over that slump where he looked tired, slow. You know, he looks like he's certainly got a bit more energy and a bit more intensity than he had a few weeks ago.
I think that injury's helped him out. The injury he had has helped him out almost, where he has got a bit of fresh legs in him almost now, where he has not had to play as many games. You know, look, we were poor, and in general we were poor, but you've got to take, you know, we were in the game, which is about all we could say, because the 11 we started with today, with no McTominay, no Pogba, no Rashford, we've got Fernandes coming in, he's not available yet, you know.
And someone said there, they take off Aguero and Mahrez and bring on David Silva and Gabriel Jesus.
It's
and you're
ridiculous.
Like, all right, look, we could take a 1-0.
Why didn't Mata take the free kick? You know, like, I'm confused about that one.
There's some things, aren't there, where you think, like, you know
what's going on there?
I think the manager knows better than us. Why do we keep playing 4-2-3-1? There's part of me that thinks I'd love to see 4-3-3, but he sees them every day. He's got his UEFA A. He's got all that. But what? Fred just isn't better than Mata at free kicks, is he? Is he? He
scored one. There is one that he has scored.
But Mata scored, 15 in his career.
I know, and it's more about it's that he's done that before. You know, he did it against Juventus. You know, last few minutes of the game.
Yeah. And he scored free kicks against Southampton, or was it Newcastle maybe for United? Yeah. He scored 4 or 5 free kicks for United.
Yeah,
and Fred has, scored one.
He scored not for United. He scored for his other team. You know, he's not. That's not his thing. I think he definitely should have took
that free kick all day. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the point I was getting to. Is usually I would say, these players know more than us, but I can't even come up with any kind of reason why Mata wouldn't be taking that. But it's not even Mata doesn't. It's still a 1 in 20 chance. Free kicks don't really go in that often, do they? But I liked. We see Solskjaer in his post-match interview now. I like some of the aggression and that side of him that people. It's weird. Again, you can always find a negative, but for a long time he got criticised for being too soft, too friendly, too nice. And then now you see these more. We saw him screaming at Lingard today.
Yeah.
If you do that again, you're coming off.
And he brought him off. Yeah.
And then now you might see people say, "Oh, he's lost his head." But I think
it's
for
a
me,
lot.
He's clearly got that nice side.
Look, at the minute, I think he's kind of. You've not seen that because. There's the standard he's expecting. There's certain things. I don't think he's had that much expectation of these players because I think he knows they're not good enough.
Yeah.
I think he knows that you can't go screaming and bawling at players saying, be better, because that's just something they're not going to be, But little things like that with Lingard, who he's worked with for a while. Lingard's been in that team for a while. He's not a young player.
Didn't he? Was he a youth player when he was there? I don't mean played in the same team, but he's known him.
He's known him for a long, long time.
Jesse Lingard's been at the club.
He had him in the reserve team and things like that.
That's what I'm saying.
He knows the standard he should be at, and that's where it is. You can't have the same standards of an Andres Pereira, who we kind of know isn't that good. I think he deep down knows isn't that good.
Yeah.
There's another thing saying De Gea there. We did pull out another
first half
unbelievable save.
As he was against Liverpool as well. He's had a couple of slips this season. Notably, the Norwich one was
a lot of
pretty horrific.
there, though, still.
But I think this season, if you look at it as a whole, he has been better than he was toward the end of last season.
Yeah.
And I think goalkeepers, more so than any other position, take the longest time to come back from a tough period. I think some goalkeepers just never get it back when they start.
If you make a mistake, you know it's a goal a lot of the time. You can't. If a striker has a week where he doesn't perform, it's nothing compared to if a goalkeeper is the last line of defence with it all.
It's almost like everyone else is playing a team game and they're like a tennis player or a golf player. They're like, you're by yourself, you train separately, you're watching the whole game.
Yeah.
You get involved in the passing a little bit, but you're doing a completely different job to everyone else. And when goalies get in their own head, as we saw with what's his name? The Liverpool goalkeeper who just shat himself.
Karius.
Yeah. And I don't think he's a good goalkeeper, but some players like that, he's not as bad as he was in that game, but you just fall off a cliff sometimes, don't you? I think we are slowly, hopefully seeing De Gea maybe come back a little bit. Yeah, again, trying to be positive about it.
There's talk about Wan-Bissaka playing at right wing back.
Yeah.
I think he wasn't the best offensively today. No. And that's where I don't see him there. There's a few people who've said that. I don't see him as a right wing back. I don't think he's good enough going forward. I'd have liked to have seen today, I said before the game, I'd like to have seen that kind of switch the other way where it was, asking Delo to come into a team he's not played that much. But I'd like to have seen, even if it was Luke Shaw as left wing back, Wan-Bissaka as the right centre half, and then Brandon on the right ahead of him, or even Delo there, Brandon Williams on the left. I'd have liked to see that instead, because you've still got what Wan-Bissaka is very good at. He's probably better. He's probably better in playing that position than Shaw. I mean, I don't. The other thing is, these lads have been working on this all week, so us doing this isn't going to be. We don't know, but I'd like to see that rather than him play when we are doing this than him playing as a wing back, because I just think he is the only thing going forward on that right hand side. Yeah. And there's so many times today where, I mean, at least Brandon looked like he could go past the player. Yeah. Wan-Bissaka just didn't look like that at all.
I think the thing with three at the back, with the wing back, left or right, there are two versions of the wing back. There are the 3-5-2, which is what we saw against Tranmere, where you had three centre backs and your full backs, Dallo and who was it played left back?
Was it Luke Shaw?
Luke Shaw.
I think Luke Shaw
are playing like wingers.
Yeah.
And then there is the 5 at the back.
Yeah.
Where you're playing as a defender, which is what he was playing against Liverpool, which is what he was playing tonight against City.
Yeah.
And we know that, Sterling did all right tonight, but we know that, roughly speaking, Wan-Bissaka certainly doesn't get done in by Sterling particularly often. We know he's got a decent matchup there with Sterling. We've seen it enough times now. I think in a game where it's that defensive style of wing-back,
then
like tonight, he kind of fits a bit better. But against teams like West Ham or Burnley or Tranmere,
you'd like to see him there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you need someone, if that is the case, that right-hand side, you need someone that's got a lot more quality. Where Bruno Fernandes likes to drift into that right-hand side. This could be a very different system.
That's something, actually, I want to talk about. We'll have a little chat about Fernandes if you want, just because we've not really spoke about him that much, have we? He is the first player that we've signed from a midfield position. I can't even think of the last one, that their natural sort of drift is to the right. Pogba goes left, Matic goes left, Mata goes left, Lingard goes left. They all drift over to the left-hand side. And Fernandes is the first one we've had in ages that he naturally likes to go over to the right.
So maybe this 3-5-2
or more balance.
Maybe that 3-5-2, whatever it is. And I said it's probably going to be Matic and Fred. On Saturday, but that's not going to happen now because Matic will be suspended. I don't know who comes in. It's probably going to be Fred and Pereira, which is against Wolves. Going to be a tough game at the weekend. We're probably going to have to go 3 at the back again. I think that's going to have to happen. Yeah. Whether that's you get Bailly in there to give him a run,
especially if Greenwood's injured. We haven't heard about that, have we?
Not heard about Greenwood. So God knows what's going on there. Who's going to play it? It's another tough one for midfield at the weekend. But Bruno fitting into that 3 almost, where it's not really a 10. It is someone that's going to drift around and play maybe a bit deeper. Maybe that does work with the 3 at the back. And with him going out to that right-hand side, giving us someone that's... It's not going to create the width, but when we are attacking over that side, it's not just Wan-Bissaka going, anyone here? Anyone fancy getting the ball off me? There's nothing there.
And also tonight, I'm not always. Some managers are hugely keen on left foot on the left hand side, right foot on the right hand side.
Van Gaal was the worst for that. He wouldn't play anyone.
I think Guardiola's the same. He seems to like Laporte, balance. And he's got a lot of left footers in that squad, Silva and a few others. But it's nice. Our midfield now, obviously Lingard's right footed and Andreas is, but Fred and Matic are both left footed, aren't they? So you do see a lot of them
leaning
going
towards
that way, going that side. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think even from a 10, players do tend to have a side they prefer, don't they?
Yeah.
And I can't imagine him coming in at the 6 and then we still play with Lingard playing at 10.
See that.
I think the biggest upgrade in quality we can have is him coming in at number 10, I think.
If Garn doesn't get minutes against Wolves and Matic out, I'm done. I mean, what's he's not going to?
No. He's not been on the bench since
he's not been on the bench. He's not even looked at it.
No. It's an interesting one.
It's an interesting one to that, and I said there's got to be something behind this in terms of
what's going on there?
Things. These lads train constantly. Yeah. They train with him constantly. It's not like they just go, "Who's this 11 we're going to pick this week? Is it FIFA?" And we just drag these players in. It's more of there's things happening in training where. And you don't know whether Ollie's just getting it completely wrong in there. But I've got to think that these lads are watching him in training all the time and going, Maybe they're not quite physically ready. Maybe they can't quite do it for 90 minutes. Yeah. Maybe there's no... Would you rather have a Pereira in there, and then if things are going wrong, you're only bringing someone on for 30 minutes who can do something like Juan Mata does?
We don't really have any holding midfielders on the bench, do we? I think the suggestion is that Andreas can do both.
Yeah.
But it's not... Levitt, he's had one or two appearances for the first team. And I know Garner's only had a handful, but he played last season.
Yeah, he did.
Mourinho.
Yeah, he came a few more.
He's played a couple of games this season. He was sort of on the cusp. It's not like he's like Ethan Laird's played one game for United. So fair enough, and we've got good players in that position.
It felt like he's
got
just no
midfielders,
no.
And he's got 5 or 6 appearances. I know it's not a lot, but I am surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he went on loan.
Yeah.
Obviously, because there's been rumours of it, but I just mean because he's not getting games. But I am surprised he's not even making the bench ever.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, but I've not heard any rumours of any, discontent there particularly, so I'm not quite sure. Garner scores a lot of them, to be fair. Garner needs to learn to stop shooting and play the pass.
I don't
does it too much, that's why he isn't ready. Perhaps.
Yeah, I don't see
but not that we haven't got a midfield full of players who shoot too much.
You don't see any improvements in any players. So Vikram said there, what are we doing? So you've got a 19-year-old who wasn't even in the squad is now looking like a Premier League left back.
Yeah.
Premier League quality left back. So that's not improved.
I mean, yeah, also, you don't think Matic has got better since the start of the season. You don't like Matic, even under Mourinho last season, looked done.
Rashford scored 20 goals.
Freddie looks way better. Fred looks better. I mean, I know you can't really compare Dan James because he came in and looked good, but he's a player that has obviously improved his form from being a championship player.
Yeah, if training improved players, every team would be world class. Exactly. It's not just training. It's not training sessions. There's, any word on Axel? No. And you know what? When Ollie said this week, and someone asked him about transfers, and he said that's a waste of a question, and everyone said it's not a waste of a question because we need to know about transfers. He can't mention what's going on about transfers, and he won't mention. No. Why isn't there a mention of Axel Tuanzebe, who looked really good, who you've not mentioned in the past 3 weeks?
Where is
he? That's a question.
Do you know where he is?
Where is that? We talk about them. That's where you say, yes, they are wasting questions when they are asking questions like that. Because you're right, we've not heard anything on Axel.
No.
And at the minute where we're switching this 3 at the back, it would be quality to have him come back in because he would look so good in there.
Mark says, Matic 15 starts, 11 clean sheets. Assuming that's true, I'm not surprised. Because
he's a very good defensive centre.
Yeah, and now he, like we said, he does seem to have got a sort of a second wind. Or maybe a 50th wind. I don't know how his career's gone.
And
but
look,
he's definitely playing better than he was at the end of last
season.
I
don't think defensively there's ever been, there's not usually been an issue. There's a few things where he kind of he was floating around in games where he looked like his fitness wasn't quite right, where he was getting forward, he wasn't getting back.
His reactions were slow.
And the other thing was, there's a lot of times I was trying to think that one of the game was the Alkmaar game.
Yeah.
And there's so many times where he's just not trying that pass forward to break the lines. He's being very safe with it all. But that's coming from him not playing many games as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's ever been a question defensively how good he is.
No. Yeah, I think him coming back, what was it? I think up until about November or December, we'd had 1 or 2 clean sheets all season. And I think, like you said, 11 and 15, and obviously we know Romero's got quite a few this season. It is nice to see the defensive side does seem to be just slightly getting better, doesn't it? I know we conceded 2 against Liverpool and obviously 3 against City, but in general, I think we have looked better defensively the last 3 months than the first 3 months.
There's a question. Did anyone think Rashford was good when LVG took him out of the academy? Rashford's been the golden child of that academy since he was about 11. He was always going to be mint. Like, I know someone that played alongside him for 6 years up until he was 16, and he was always the man. He was always going to be, this lad's mint. He's quality. He scores goals everywhere.
And that doesn't always mean that they're going to be.
He's going to be mint.
Able to do it.
But that's the one. The academy
going to get a chance.
He's good, this lad. So that's.
Yeah, Levitt's injured, isn't he? He was ill, wasn't he? And I don't think he's quite back from that yet. Which, again, I'm not. Even if he was fit, I wouldn't necessarily think he'd be the first choice. But Garner's the weird one for me. Should we call it a day there?
Shall we?
It's been. You know what?
It's not been that bad of a day.
It's not been the worst version of today, has it? We got Bruno Fernandes over the line.
It's not been the best.
Confirmed by the club. It's not been the best version.
Like, if we'd have nicked a goal and there'd been tables going and everything.
And we made it uncomfortable for City. We didn't win.
No,
obviously,
it's disappointing
because we didn't expect ourselves,
especially with the result last night. City are massive favourites now in that final against Villa, because as good as Villa were last night, City have just beat them 6-1.
Aren't they? They'll absolutely pan them.
6-1 not too long ago. So that's pretty much City won that one, to be honest.
Well,
unless Jack Grealish has the game of his life.
I'll tell you one thing that it does do. We go into the Wolves game now without everyone being all over Solskjaer, all over the squad, all over. We haven't just been killed. Like the feeling after some games, you can just feel it, can't you? Even if you're at the game or not, you see it on Twitter, you see the reaction. Tonight's game hasn't given us that. We're absolutely shocking feeling. We're kind of. It's not the result we wanted, but we've got something to build on there, and that's all you can hope for, really. I suppose. Well, it's not. You can hope to win, but if you're gonna lose, I suppose that's the way to.
If you're gonna lose,
that's what we're going
may
with.
As well win.
Exactly. If you're gonna lose, you may as well win. I think that's a great way to end it.
All right.
Cheers, Alex. Thanks very much for joining us at home. Be sure to check out everything. We do loads of videos all the time. If you don't subscribe, you got to subscribe.
Yeah, because we've got more coming tomorrow, more coming Friday, more coming all week.
Always happening.
See you later.